And just like that, we live again. Um, hey everybody watching this in the playback, because there's nobody here right now. We know that. But shout out to everybody that's gonna watch this in the playback. Key and Carrie, where we Key.
And we Carrie.
I'm Damon.
I am Troy.
And we back at it again with a live review. No chase.
In the same room.
Yes, in the same room, right? Is that no green screen? No. But yeah, we decided to just, try to go live like at least once a week. No Chasing Dallas this week. So we decided to do something that we both watched and we both kind of liked. So yeah, we'll see if somebody comes into the live, because I don't think the girls are used to us reviewing this type of stuff. We've done some movie reviews here and there, but nothing quite like this. So hopefully it gets some good reception.
Yes, but, and excuse my, I guess, I'm trying to upload the link to Instagram. Sorry, I should have did this before we went live.
You're good.
My
You're
bad.
Good.
Yes, but like David said,
no.
Like David said, shout out to everybody that's gonna watch this on the playback. TGIF, looking forward to the weekend.
Yes.
Hopefully you guys are staying safe and dry. But overall, it's the weekend. Shout out to everybody that's gonna watch this back. Like I said, on the playback. I know I'm a little crossfaded right now. My bitch is in the building, so I'm excited. But we got some shit that we are about to get into for y'all.
Yes.
Before we get into that, make sure y'all drop down in the comments how y'all week was.
Yes.
If you guys have any plans for the weekend. Also, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
You want to speak on your week?
My week was interesting.
Okay. I
had an interesting week. I mean, nothing too fancy, nothing too bad, nothing too crazy, but I can't say traffic. You motherfuckers driving in southeastern Michigan. Let's just get y'all shit together. Motherfucker almost ran a red light and then looking at me like I'm in the wrong.
That's
come on now.
That could be said for Chicago too. It might be the whole Midwest. Maybe the Chicagoans love Chicagoans.
Yeah, some of y'all just
the driving is suspect.
How did you get your license?
Yes.
But yeah, how was your week?
It was good. I'm glad to be back in the city. Back in the D. Shout out to Detroit. I'm glad to be back. Yeah, it's been good.
That's what's up.
Ready to talk about this show. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started, I guess. It kind of feels like a pre-recorded episode since nobody's here. It's we're but I mean we're live, so it's like whatever we say now is gonna be in the.
It kind of is crazy, like I always say, like when we go live, you guys kind of get to see what gets edited out of like our edited videos. Yes. So the rambling.
Hopefully, we're sober enough to edit ourselves.
Yes. To be filtered.
Not trying to get canceled on this Good Friday. But yeah. But yeah, so we decided to review Swarm, a series on Amazon Prime, but produced by Donald Glover, as well as Janine Neighbors. I don't think she's ever produced any TV shows, but I think she has done I think she's a playwright, so she's written for plays.
Okay.
But yeah, so created by them.
Interesting. That shows in the show. The theatrical.
You think so? Okay.
It kind of shows.
Okay, we'll get into that. But yeah, so yeah, Swarm. I'm sure you've heard of it or at least seen some pictures from it. But we both watched it, recently, and we kind of figured maybe we could talk about it, give our thoughts. Our thoughts. Let us know your thoughts. But we figured we would give our thoughts on just what the show was giving and what we got out of the show. But yeah, if you haven't watched it, maybe we can give a little spoiler-free thing and then go into spoilers.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. We'll also have time codes. I know sometimes I say that and I don't do it, but I probably will do this time. We'll have time codes so that you'll be able to skip past certain things. But yeah, Swarm. The show came out March 17th. It is the synopsis goes as an obsessed Houston-based fan goes to increasingly violent lengths for her favorite R&B singer. So yeah, what stanship do you think this was? Like, if I just read that to you, what would you think? What stanship?
Definitely the people that stung Ray Romano.
So the Beehive.
Yes.
I would have thought maybe the Barbs.
It's the buzzing.
Okay.
Well, the sound effect. I don't want to give too much away, but it's kind of certain things or
what's crazy?
Easter eggs that they drop.
I feel like the Barbs are very like. The Barbs will like harass you online, but they're not gonna take it. From what I know, they're not gonna take it outside online.
Now, there's only one fan base assaulting people with CDs. Okay, that's kind of what this show is. A fanatic assaulting people.
But they were respectful enough to calm down when she told them to calm down.
It's the fact that you would even throw a CD at somebody. First of all, like, a CD? Come on now. I can see like a
They've done some pretty
savage. The Beehive. Yeah. Definitely the Beehive.
So, no secret that this is obviously kind of like influenced by the Beehive. But yeah, we're just gonna give our thoughts. I don't know if you want to go like by episode, or I just kind of wanted to talk about things that kind of stood out to me about the show. I guess you could say. But to me, I think the first thing is I don't love everything that Donald Glover does, but I do enjoy the shows that he creates. I feel like they're very like. I just feel like they're very like interesting and out there, especially like I feel like sometimes like when it comes to like horror and sci-fi and like certain styles of film and television, it's kind of reserved for only white people.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's kind of like making it more diverse, I read an article like maybe a couple years ago that called him the Black David Lynch. David Lynch is this like film director that he also does TV, but like he's known for his like very weird and like kind of like obscure like form of storytelling where it's like, what the fuck is that? Like what the fuck? Like like you're very like, what's going on? And then at the end you're like, I think I get what's going on, but I don't know. But I feel like Donald Glover is kind of giving that. Like, even with Atlanta, that's on FX. You get aspects of that. So Swarm, I think, also kind of like added to that, where it's like very interesting and weird, and quirky, but also like black.
Okay.
So I enjoy.
Is there a I guess like a famous David Lynch movie?
I would say Mulholland Drive. Definitely comment down below with your favorite David Lynch movie if you've ever heard of him. But Mulholland Drive is really big. Twin Peaks is what I know him from. That's a TV show.
Okay.
So yeah, he's just known for being like kind of weird and like out there, but very good. So I feel like Donald Glover is kind of like similar to that.
That's one thing I will give like Donald Glover. Like Atlanta, the story is told really well, and then this show is told like very well. Couple, potholes, like loopholes, or everything. I guess with any story, but like Donald Glover knows how to really tell a story. So
yeah, I thought it was interesting. I think they worked well together. I feel like also just like seeing this character like be kind of like. Because I feel like the whole idea of like the psychopath, the sociopath, like the lovable or like the protagonist, like the psychopath being a like protagonist, I feel like that's becoming more and more popular. Like there's a show called Killing Eve, where the lead is like a psychopath. She's like an assassin, and like she's like likable though, and you like her. And Dexter, Hannibal. There are a lot of shows like that where it's like the main character is kind of like, if they really exist, you would hate them. They're like an evil person, but because they're the protagonists and you get their backstory, like they're likable,
Got you.
So I feel like mainly, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, like mainly those characters have been played by mostly white people, but it's good to get like a character like that from like the black perspective, like a black woman that is not perfect, definitely giving, psychopathy tease, but very relatable in ways, you kind of
a little bit of Janine Teagues, but Abbott Elementary. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of Janine Teagues. Just a taint, but you put it like that, yeah. I could definitely see Miss Teague snapping.
Oh my
but
God.
I'm derailing. My bad.
Yes,
I'm derailing.
But yeah, no. I just wanted to point that out. I just thought that it's just interesting to see this type of character because I don't know. Like, have you ever seen this type of character, like outside of?
I haven't. Not from like I guess like a black character.
Yeah, because I feel like when you get sociopathic characters, it's usually like a drug like a drug movie or like a gangster movie, like Paid in Full or like a State Property, where it's like the character is just kind of evil and like they're doing things to like be
Wesley Snipes and New Jack City.
Yes, they're doing things for like greed and to come up and to have power. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that's not the only I feel like those people are sociopaths and psychopaths, but like there are other types of people like that.
Right.
And I feel like it's just interesting to see that on screen, it being a black woman, So I thought that was really interesting. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below if you've ever seen a character like that and what that character made you think of. But
I think Dre, there's so many different like layers to like Dre or Andrea, her name in the show. One of them being just they speak about her, her background, her childhood, her upbringing or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then to kind of, it kind of goes back to like there being like the missing host or whatever, but they mention her background and then to kind of see her in like, when she goes out, I'm just trying to wonder, I'm trying to connect the dots, like what in her history is just her background, her upbringing. It just caused her to just spaz out.
I don't know.
And it's almost like, because I feel like with some serial killers, like some serial killers are like, they say are like sometimes like intelligent, book smart. Mm-hmm. They lack like common sense. I feel like, no shade, Andrea is one of those. Like she's rational. Mm-hmm. I feel like she understands what she's doing. Yeah. But there's that disconnect. Like I have to hurt you. Like I know I'm hurting you, but I have to do this. So I'm just.
That is interesting to me, and I love. That's another thing I like about the show is how ambiguous things are. Yeah. It's not because I feel like that's very true to life. You just when you hear about a situation, you don't know, right? Like so you're just forced to kind of be like, well, maybe this happened based off of the things you do know. Mm-hmm. But those things are left ambiguous. What is she like a psycho? Is that just how her brain is wired? Right. Or did she suffer a lot of abuse before she, got into foster care? And even when she was in foster care, did she suffer abuse and that led to, where she is now? Right. So I think that that's interesting. But I do think that like the whole dichotomy of her hurting somebody, but also loving them. That's why I feel like, not to jump to the end, but the scene at the end, the last episode where she strangles Rashida, I feel like that was such an interesting scene because that was the first time that we see her murdering somebody that she cared about. Yeah. All the other kills were just like, and somebody even said like, you kind of are hoping these people die. Like you're not hoping they die, but you're like, not upset. Like it's kind of like structure for you to be like, okay, that person died. You were waiting for their death. Right. But Rashida, to me, that was the first one I was like, oh, right. No. And so
it kind of was like she said something during that where it was like, I know what I'm doing, but even though I care about you, it's crazy because Halsey, I felt like earlier in the episode or early in the season, Halsey, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Was kind of trying to, I feel like, replace.
You know who that was, right?
Yes. Okay. I know who it was. Lil Madonna. Okay. And it's crazy. It ain't Madonna Offset. It ain't Madonna's daughter. It's Michael Jackson's daughter, but Lil Madonna. But it's crazy because I felt like Halsey was trying to replace Dre's sister. And Drake picked up on
really?
that and was like, no, you're too much. Like, my sister would never be like this. Mm-hmm. With Rashida, I feel like it was, I'm not trying to replace my sister with you. I have a genuine interest in you. Mm-hmm. But because we don't.
Do you think she saw her sister, like Marissa, mm-hmm. as a sister? Because I feel like they had a bond, and I feel like they called each other sisters. Mm-hmm. But I think Dre had like a romantic attachment to her. I feel like she was almost damn near in love with her. And I feel like I was gonna say I feel like that's the scene where they where she's watching Damson Idris bang the Mario coins out of oh girl. I feel like that scene, that's what that communicated to me, mm-hmm. is that she's looking at somebody that she loves, somebody that she wants to be intimate with.
Interesting.
Being with this guy. And I feel like that content is what really drove her to murder Khalid.
I think at first I thought that too, because there was like, them just kind of landing in a bed. I was like, this isn't really sisterly. Yeah. But as I watched the show, I really thought like Dre cherished Marissa as like a sister. Okay. Remember when Dre was on this damn episode on that damn road trip with those strippers?
Yeah.
Okay. Dre said
that's the real Beyond the Pole.
Baby. Okay, they need course. They should have had Coach Stormy Wilson in the trunk. Holding her ass ransom, baby. This would have my.
I want to be Coach to Millionaire status. Okay. I'm trying to be Coach to Millionaire status.
But during the road trip, Dre said that the male form is like a waste or something. So I feel like she saw Marissa as a sister, but any guy or any male that Marissa interacted with, Dre didn't feel that man was worthy.
Really? I feel like that, and you know, I have opinions about that as well. It's a slight critique, but I feel like that kind of argues my point even more. Okay. No shade, because I just feel like usually, because I feel like this is kind of like a thing, like the whole like predatory lesbian, like I'm your friend or I'm your sister or whoever, but like I really want you and nobody's good enough for you because I want to be with you. So no man is ever going to like amount to who I want you to be with because I want to be with you.
I was thinking it might have been something to do with like her childhood, some type of trauma. Maybe
I can see that.
Maybe being abused by men or maybe being taken advantage by men, and that's probably why she has like that. Maybe because baby, she slept with Macaulay Culkin brother. Let's talk about that.
She did. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the dick and the strawberries. Okay. Let's talk about the dick and the strawberries. Cause that was a lie.
I said not the nigga mashed up against the glass bowl. I said that's unsanitary, first of all.
Right? Well, I guess it was outside the bowl.
Even against the bowl. not in my friend. Right in front of my salad? Are you serious?
You like, said, get that pink meat away from
her. Not next to my fresh fruit. I'm sorry. Absolutely not. But she slept with the white guy. So I was just like you said, the show leaves a lot of ambiguity. It's like she said the male form is like a waste. But I feel like at first I thought she saw like Marissa, I'm sorry, as something more as like a sister. But I really do feel like she cherished her as a sister. She saw Marissa as a sister.
To me, it gives, it gave like we grew up together and like we're sisters, but I love you. Okay. I don't know. It just gave me that, just because of how protective she was, and like I know a sister can be that protective too, but I just felt like she was like very like no man is going to, because I should be in that space, you know. But,
so can we talk about something this scene that really, 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 really like stood out to me? First of all, the acting in this show is just phenomenal. Yes. Like Dominique Fishback did.
Yes. Can we give her thing?
Let's give the girl her flowers. If you have not watched Swarm on Amazon Prime, it's definitely worth a watch. Like Dominique Fishback is an amazing actress.
She did that.
So this scene in particular,
can I also just say that she was also in Judas and the Black Messiah. She was really good.
Okay. I do need to check out more of like her work.
But yeah, she deserves some type of attention from the Golden Globes.
this show,
MTV, any of the give her the awards,
yes,
all of them.
Any awards that I guess any award show that awards actors, they need to take notice. This show, her acting in this show is just phenomenal. But this scene in particular, where she was talking to Erica, I guess Marissa's former boss.
Okay, yeah.
The thick Hispanic shit. You know I was going up for her, but I guess
was that your top scene for you?
Yes, that's like one of my favorites because there's so much to dig through and just pick apart from the scene.
Right.
So she's talking to Erica and she's telling her the story about Naja and Naja's mom, and I'm just like, no, this bitch didn't just go into this whole story. A lie, first of all. It's a whole lie.
Yeah. But
the emotion that she is like displaying during this lie, it's like you actually believe her. You want to believe her.
It was, and that's the thing of
scary good. I'm sorry to cut you off, but it was just because people really do that, and people are like that in real life.
Yeah.
Are narcissistic, pathological liars. And that's literally lying through their teeth. And they're portrayed to be the truth. If you didn't know her, you would have believed that she was a makeup artist.
It was a good scene. Like the way she was able to like tap into her emotions. And it's crazy because like I'm thinking like the actress is just a good actress. But the character is like a psycho. Yes. So it's like a psychopath. Yes. So it's like, you know, it's like it's almost like this like double meaning. Like you being such a good actor and being able to like give this performance, right? But also you as a character being a psychopath and being able to give this fake performance. Yes. So it's
crazy because it's so many range of emotions just from her performing that it's like it's sad, like she's crying, but then she's also lying. Yeah. And then on top of her lying, it's just not only are you lying, you concocted this literal fucking story. So you got girl. Not only have you concocted this story, you concocted this story based on your sister's death. Yeah. So now you're telling the story to somebody, and they're literally believing. So it's just crazy to me because that's how like a sociopath, a psychopath, like operates, navigates. Like she literally sat at the table, bawling, crying, like. My sister died, and now I'm doing the makeup for my favorite superstar's mom. Right? Like, that shit was crazy.
I was like but you know what's so crazy about that whole situation is the fact that, to me, the performance was so good, and then on top of that, just, like, her ability to, like, live in the moment and, like, really, like, take that in and, like, oh, girl was taken aback. She was like...
She was gagged. Yeah. And then she made her sip that damn drink. I said, now, what the fuck is this? What that straw?
Can I get some vodka? Because this is too much.
Put that straw in her mouth and make her sip. I said...
She did put the straw in her mouth. I was like, wait, what?
Put the straw right in her mouth.
I was like,
oh. This is wild. Yeah. But that scene was...
And you know what's so funny to me is... So, like, in the beginning, the relationship with Dom and the girl, I can't remember her name, but she worked in the mall with Marissa. The woman she sat down with. It was almost like the girl was kind of bullying her or, like, kind of, like... But it's just so interesting to see, like, what Dom was really capable of and to know that, like, she was just, like... She just kind of let it roll off her back when it's like you're literally capable of such terrible, harmful things. It's just so interesting because it's like, damn, you really never know who you're talking to. When you talk to people crazy, it's like they could just snap one day, and it's like you might be the first person they come for because it's like
that's a good point because when Drake put up to the mall, girls kind of being like a dick, kind of being like a bitch or whatever, and then Drake flipped the script and came a whole fucking psycho, a serial killer out there. So, but I did really like the scene. Another point that I wanted to touch on was like one. I wanted to know how Dre was able to lie so elaborately, and then when she lies, I was wondering where her mind is when she's telling the story. Is it?
Do you think she actually believes the lies that she's telling that way? Absolutely. That's why it's so good to... Absolutely. That's why she's so easily able to, you know...
That's a good point.
Yeah. She genuinely believes it.
That's crazy.
It's a level of like delusion, I think. That
I'll put that in my notes.
Yeah. Delusional. I had something to say about the food court scene. Because there was something about it that like really, I had something to say about it, but maybe it'll come
Was it her trying to get her phone tone back on by Ricky Thompson?
He said, "This is ghetto."
You get the fuck out the store.
That was like the second, because I have a top scene.
Okay.
But the scene, my like second favorite was that scene. Because it was so, first of all, Ricky Thompson is a key. Shout out to Ricky Thompson, love him. But like, just his personality and the fact that I feel like that's anybody in that situation, like, ooh, I still have to be professional. Right. But like,
I'm gonna try to help you best I can without losing my job.
And then on top of that, like, you seem like the type of bitch to catch me in the parking lot. So I'm just like,
and she a serial killer so weird.
Right.
Like, listen,
he felt that energy. Yeah. He felt that gay rage. Okay. He felt that gay rage.
She pulled out. It was the cash that she pulled out.
Yeah. It was like, ooh.
I want to help you, but let's go Harris Jackson.
I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I can't do this.
Oh my gosh, a key.
Yeah.
But yeah, the court scene, the courtyard scene, the acting in that scene was astounding. I thought she did a really good job.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So there's this movie. You will probably never watch it because it's kind of gory. But there's this movie Pearl. If anybody who will watch this has seen it, but Pearl with a movie by Ty West and Mia Goth that came out, I think, last year. It's a horror movie.
Okay.
But it has similar beats. Like the whole movie of Pearl has similar beats to this show.
Okay.
And this scene in particular kind of reminds me. It kind of drew up, like it made me think of that movie because there's a scene in that movie where she literally does like I want to say 5-minute monologue of just her just expressing herself because she's also like a psychopathic killer.
Okay.
But like is blending into society, and she kind of lets out all of her like raw emotion about that. And like it's this long take. It's like, you know, her just giving it, and like it kind of reminded me of Swarm and like how she also was kind of. I mean, she wasn't talking about how she's a killer or whatever, but she was. The shot, it looked the same, you know. So I was like, is that a reference to Pearl? I don't know, but
yeah, that's another interesting point about like because rewatching the episode today, I noticed that when Ray started to talk about, you know, being a makeup artist, the camera started to zoom in on her face, and I just thought the whole shot of her telling the story and crying, I thought it was dope. The acting, like I said in the scene, was
it was good.
It was phenomenal. Yeah. Even like, I wonder what the actress, Dominique Fishback tapped into to feel like that emotion.
That's interesting. I really don't know because, you know, there are so many different ways. Like, there are so many different like techniques when it comes to acting. Hopefully, she's not method acting, child. That's what Christian Bale, I think, and some of the other white men be doing and making them go crazy. But hopefully she's not method acting. But
does that mean that she would be like a serial killer for a day?
So method acting is like you do the things that your character did, and so that's how you draw the acting chops because you were put in a similar situation as that character, so like you kind of can But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what she's but she's good. I think that's like part of the magic of being a good actor is being able to take me there and like really being like, damn, this is fake. Like this is a script you follow. Like you're not that person, you know? So but yeah, I want to talk about my favorite scene. My favorite scene, I want to say it was episodes because there were 6 episodes, right?
7 episodes.
7. So I want to say this was the 6th episode. I can't remember the name, but the episode where she joins that the white lesbian cult.
I think that was Running Scared. I think that was the title, Running Scared.
Okay, was that episode 6 though?
I think it was episode 4.
Was it episode 4?
I think it was episode 4.
Oh, because episode 6 was her with Rashida, right?
Yeah.
Then what was episode 7?
Episode 7 was Rashida. Episode 6
was the fake crime doc. Yeah. And then so this was episode 4. Okay, so
the detective with the friendships, baby.
Right. But yeah, I thought the scene with Billie Eilish and Dominique Fishback, yes.
That's
that, I mean, it's the thumbnail. That scene, it was a really good scene. I was here for it. I didn't even know Billie Eilish. Like, first of all, no shade to Billie Eilish, but I never really got into her like that. She seemed cool, like, just a cool Gen Z white girl, but I never really got into her. But this scene, I was like, okay, it made me think, like, who is this girl? Because, like, she was so magnetic in the scene, and, like, just the energy she radiated was very, like, I'm the cult leader. Yeah. Like, I'm the leader, bitch. And
you know what's crazy? I'm sorry to cut you off. She radiated that without saying
anything. Yeah.
Charismatic.
Yeah.
Very charismatic.
I just think that this scene was like an expert, like, this was like a good example of like how to build tension in a film, like in a film context, like how to build tension and how to like ramp up the creepiness in a scene. Like when it comes to horror, and it's so interesting to me, I don't want to derail, but Donald Glover also kind of gives me Jordan Peele in a way.
I can see that.
Because it is interesting because they both come from comedic backgrounds, but they are really good at portraying horror. And I think that's something to be kind of poked at, like the fact that they're both like these comedic actors or comedic people, but like are so good at horror as well. And I wonder, like, is there like a connection between that? Because even with the Key and Peele sketches, some of them were like really creepy, and I'm like, this is supposed to be funny, but it's very like kind of weird, So it's like, I wonder, like, is there a connection there? But yeah, that scene was very perfect in just like being like so tense and like, because it starts off very, and it's good because like I want to give Dominique Fishback her 10s again, because like her characterization in the beginning is very like her. It's very like, girl, okay, whatever, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna talk to you, whatever. And then it's very playful at first, but as they get into the like conversation of like the things that she's been through in her life, it becomes more like less playful and more like serious and more like, yeah, I did that. I did that. It gets more menacing, like even in her mannerisms and the way that she's looking at, I think her name was Eva.
Yeah, Eva.
Eva. The way she was looking at Eva, Billie Eilish's character, it was like it got more and more menacing and more like, yeah, I did that. And just like to see her eyes like water up and to see the emotion come from up underneath her, like from like under her, like to see it brewing up, and to see the direction as well, just to see like the close-ups as they were talking, as they're getting into this like conversation, like the close-ups like creep me out. And then when she was like, what she say, like
hey Ty.
Is that Ty?
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Oh, hey Ty, thank you for being here. We're just rambling about Swarm. You've seen it. But yeah, when she was like, my grandma was screaming at me because I spilled the milk, and she was like, "Oh, you spilled the milk," and she was like, "What color was the milk?" And she was like, "It was red." I was like, when I tell you, I was in my apartment like, like, let me lock all my doors, let me check all the windows, because baby, this is scary.
The pacing for that scene was everything. The dialogue also, for that scene, I thought was phenomenal. Just Billie Eilish leads you to believe like she's nurturing. She's really there to like kind of help you, guide you. No,
she's cult leader.
Yes,
because they do like, I've like seen a lot of documentaries on cults, and like a lot of them, it's like they start with the nurturing. I'm gonna better you. I'm gonna reach your full potential, and then eventually you're like, oh shit, this person manipulated me.
Full blown manipulation. I also like the scene because I feel like the more Dre told Eva about her history and her childhood, her upbringing, it was like another kind of debt that Dre kind of owed to them, or that's something that they owed
that's
to Dre.
As soon as when she said like, oh, we know everything, we know things about you.
You can't run anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. Like, and it's weird that I feel like Dre realized that. Well, how can I put this? She thought that. You know what's crazy? Let's kind of backtrack because the only reason that Dre stayed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just want to highlight this comment real quick. Shout out to Ty. Thank you for being here. Yes, I loved it. I was stuck on the true crime episode. I was Googling to see.
I was too.
It had me shook. Man, when I tell
maybe
you.
is Andrea Green a real person?
Right? Like.
And the first post was like, "No, Andrew Green, this is not a real story."
Well, to me, I think I told you it was the shot. It was the shot with Donald Glover talking about, yeah, I'm doing this show, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh shit, wait, is this real? Is this based on something real? Like, yeah, that had me.
But the scene with Billie Eilish and Dominique Fishback, it was
that was good. That needs to be. I need the award. I need the awards to come through.
Oh, but I'm sorry, like I was saying, can we go back to how they fucking told Dre that they had tickets to the festival, and that's how they kind of manipulated her into staying, you know, spending time with them or whatever, and it ultimately led to her snapping.
Did you get the feeling that they wanted her to be like their guard dog? Because I think they knew what they were doing. I think old girl, the white chick with the brown with the bangs.
Yeah.
I think she knew what she was doing.
Like
I feel like she was like, okay, this girl, first of all, we need some diversity apparently, and then on top of that, we need somebody that's gonna come through and like shake the girl. Yep. Yeah, and when somebody comes for us. We got her.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah, so I think she knew that, and I think that like because even when Eva found out she was she killed somebody, she was like, "You're a warrior, right? You're strong." And it's like you're gonna use her, you're gonna weaponize her essentially. And so I think that that's really interesting, especially not to dig too deep into it, but her being Dominique or Dom being a not Dom. What is her?
Dre.
Dre, yeah. Dre being I got confused by the D's. But Dre being like a black woman and them being this like white woman call.
Right.
Like quick to use this black woman as like, their armor or like their muscle or whatever. But no, I agree. I think that they were trying to use her maybe for like some sort of like muscle. Yeah. If that makes sense. But yeah, and I thought like just the tricks that she used was also really interesting. Like trying to get her to tell her real name, but she was lying. Like so, like the more she gets into like the story she's telling, she's like, "What's her name?" And she goes from Kayla to Dre, and it's like, "Oh shit, that's your real name." Like so, I just thought that was really interesting.
It was a snap of the fingers for me. Like, bitch, I'm not a dog. No, it's not good for fingers at me. Yeah. And that's kind of what she got at the end of the episode. So that's what I'm saying.
And that's so interesting to me because I feel like each episode could really be like a movie in itself. Like I want to like know more. And I think that's what I like. That's another thing I like about Donald Glover is that he creates these stories that could lead to other stories. But he's smart enough to not expose too much to be like, okay, well, we already know what it's about. Like it lets you kind of fill in the spaces in your own mind.
A little bit of Quentin Tarantino, a little bit. Because I'm thinking of Kill Bill. Yeah. How he left it, a lot of,
I think a good storyteller is somebody that knows what to tell and what not to tell. What to let you imagine and what for me to tell you exactly, Yeah. And so I like that. But yeah, I think Quentin Tarantino also does that where it's like he'll let things linger and like let things like, okay, like I'm not gonna tell you exactly what I mean by this or I'm not gonna show you this exactly so that you can fill it in with your own mind.
Baby. But I'm sorry to derail. I'm still trying to figure out if a driver's still running around that desert with no eyeballs in her head.
Silence, baby. But yeah, definitely feel free to let us know what your if you're watching this now or watching this in the playback, let us know what your favorite scenes were. But yeah, that was definitely my favorite scene. I just felt like it was just an expert example of like building tension and just creating a story and like because I was all the way in my screen like trying to figure out what happened. Right. So do you think she killed her grandma? I feel like she hurt somebody else. I don't think she hurt her own grandma.
No, I don't think she hurt her grandma.
But
what's crazy, and I don't want to go too Marissa had a scar, and they never revealed what the scar was from. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering if that was what might have come from like Dre, when Dre was like, the milk was red.
That's interesting. Well, I think with her grandma, I think that was before she got to Marissa. Okay. Because I think that was when she was with her actual like grandma, like one of her actual parents, like mom. So I feel like that was like a separate thing, but it kind of makes sense that she maybe did something to her grandma because that would be the reason why she ended up in foster care. True. And then I think, I don't know, I heard theories about how like Marissa's dad did seem like abusive, just in general, like not even just to Dre, but just in general. So I feel like maybe that the pressure of that and just life in general, like, you know, they were kind of struggling and wait.
My favorite scene.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that. We'll highlight it for now. But that scene was crazy. We were talking about that scene earlier.
Crazy about that I guess the scene, or not the scene, but I guess Dre talking about her grandma. Mm-hmm. Billie Eilish Eva asked Dre, like, when's the first time you heard Niger? Mm-hmm. And she was like, I was at my grandma's house. Yeah. And then she said there was like red milk. So I was like, what? You heard Niger and it made you excited.
Do you think that was the first time she killed? Or the first time she saw blood? Or the first time she like kind of acted on her impulse? That would be interesting because that would be a understanding tied to Naja. Like, kind of this feeling of release, this feeling of, you know, and you were able to kind of, like, do that.
Damn, she went the wrong dark road, though. Like, damn, listening to your artist makes you want to spaz out?
Well, I think the spazzing was innate within her. And I think maybe, like, her hearing Naja, I feel like that connected her to Naja. Because I feel like for some people, like, they may struggle with mental illness, and I feel like they come across certain things that connect them to that thing. And so it's like, I'm connected to this thing, but it's really my own mental issues that I'm projecting onto this issue. Okay. You know? So I feel like that's maybe her, like, she acted on her impulse, and then, like, you know, Naja was playing, so that maybe that comforted her, maybe, or maybe that made her feel, you know, strong, and, you know, I don't know. But I think it's interesting to speculate, you know. Right. But yeah, we can talk about the scene with when she killed her girlfriend. I feel like that scene was hard to watch. It was probably one of the hardest scenes to watch because, like I said, up until that point, she really just killed people that, you know,
she didn't care for.
Yeah, she didn't care for. That we saw. Yeah. You know, she, you know, only killed people that she didn't really care for. So to see her strangle somebody, and then to see them, the lead up to. Right. To see, like, them be in a full-blown relationship. Right. And to see her, like, you know, do that. And then on top of that, like, unfortunately to know, like, that, like, inner partner violence happens between, like, queer people and, like, you know, I mean, anybody can experience this, but, like, just to see that between, like, Black queer people was like, oh, dang, like, because it happens. Yeah, and I think that gets swept under the rug because it's like, 2 men, 2 women, who cares? Y'all can fight each other. It's equal, you know.
That scene was kind of hard to watch because it lasted so long. Yeah. Like, so it was.
I think it was meant to be emotional.
Yeah, and, like, you know, kind of lasted too long for me, so it's kind of like heart to stomach. Only because I really liked Rashida, and I thought that, you know, Dre had found, like, you know, somebody that would care for her, or she could care for somebody. Right. But yeah, that was wild because I didn't see. And it's crazy because Rashida had told Dre from the jump, like, I really don't care for Nigel. So I was just wondering. I was just wondering why she would spend that much money, like, on tickets. Yeah. And I guess Rashida could have had a different reaction to it. Like, you calling her stupid and dumb and all of that isn't really going to solve anything. But that scene was just hard to watch.
It was.
It was because I really wanted her to.
I think she lives in some space of delusion almost. And I feel like for her, like, in her mind, the things that she thinks doesn't translate to other people. Okay. It's like when she bought the tickets for Marissa.
Yeah.
And it's like, girl, we're about to get kicked out, and I'm
Right.
asking my parents for money when you bought Naja tickets.
Right.
Like, you know, so I think for her, it's like her brain doesn't compute like normal societal things like paying bills and you know. So I think that's I feel like that's where that comes from.
I don't think you've ever done a live
And
that got
thunder is coming. If you can't hear that, it's thundering out here. But yeah, that scene was definitely hard to watch.
Yeah.
And then like seeing her meet her parents, like that was just so like we saw a whole relationship blossom, and then she just murdered her.
Right.
It's like damn, like that.
Like it was just like nothing.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was nothing for her. I feel like she felt a way about it, but I feel like she felt like it was something that needed to be done. If that makes sense.
Okay.
And that's what kind of, because I know like while I was watching, I was like, oh, like I heard people saying like, oh, she probably killed Marissa. She probably killed Marissa. And I was like, no, I don't think so. Blah. But like once I seen that scene, I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Now we know she can murder people that
right.
she has some sort of attachment to.
Yeah, if she feels abandoned, then
yeah,
she could probably spaz out.
Because who's to say that Marissa? Because I mean, the way that it's kind of like structured, it's almost like she came in when she was overdosed.
Yeah.
But we don't really know, and I don't think she's a reliable like storyteller. Right. So it's like I don't know. And then on top of that, it's like, did they have the same argument that her and Rashida had, right. and that caused her to strangle her because she, or do something to her? So yeah, I don't know what. But that's what I like about the show is that it's so many different theories right. you can come up with. So
yeah, it leaves you thinking.
Yeah,
it's a conversation. It's definitely something that you could talk about because so much happens in the show that. It's good, like, well, actually, this is like a show where there's, like, I guess, plot holes or, like, loopholes, but there are, like, it's good. Because the conversation keeps you talking, keeps you guessing, keeps you thinking. So I do like that the show has, like, that suspense element in a way. Like, Donald Glover is a, like, really, really dope, like, storyteller. Like, if you haven't watched Swarm, it's definitely worth a watch. Dominique Fishback is a phenomenal.
She's that girl.
A phenomenal
actress. Beyonce's that girl. Play Beyonce's I'm that girl. Like
it's the detective episode for me where the detective was Dre will only dance to Niger songs, and I'm like, what strip club will only allow what strip club will allow you to select what songs you want to dance to, and not you dance to songs about dead children.
True, because don't they just play whatever music and then it's just okay.
So I'm like, is she going up to the DJ like only play Nigel when I want to say
Nigel? Probably. It was probably Ricky Thompson. Like, I don't think we should play that, but I'll do it for you because you're kind of crazy. Like, for real.
Yeah, Swarm is definitely worth a watch.
No, Swarm is good. We only touched on like half of the shit, but yeah, definitely check it out. Very interesting. I mean, if you're into like that type of thing. Yeah, definitely check it out. I would say. Hey, Chef Pearl, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for being here, Chef Pearl.
Yeah, thank you for being
here. TGIF.
Yes, TGIF. But yeah, we'll be back with Chasing Dallas next week.
Next Friday.
We'll be back with that. So yeah, back to our regularly scheduled program. We just want to do something different, and we're gonna keep doing different things, shows that we watch. We both watch some shows together, or like shows we both watch. So like we'll definitely pop in with our opinions on those shows. Just to ramble.
But definitely be on the lookout for that.
But yes.
So thank you to everybody who came through. Thank you to everybody who's gonna watch this on a playback.
I have a question leaving.
Ooh, okay.
Before we go. Do you think Swarm deserves or not deserves? Do you think Swarm should get a season 2? Not in terms of like how well it did, because obviously I thought it was a great show. But like, do you think it needs, or like, how would you feel about a season
2? Honestly, I feel like it doesn't need a season 2. I kind of like where it left off at.
I agree.
I don't feel like. I mean, I kind of want answers or questions to be answered, but I feel like if I keep trying to figure out like this theory for myself. It'll keep me invested in like the show. It'll keep me want to go back and rewatch the show. Yes. So I don't feel like it needs a season 2.
And no shade, I don't need all filmmakers and producers to do this because I feel like it's only a skill for certain people. No shade, no shade. I'm just saying, only certain people can pull it off. But I feel like the absence of certain information, especially when it comes to like horror or thriller like genre, I feel like the better it gets because the less you know, the scarier it gets. Yeah. And the more you can build upon what you think. You can fill it in with your own morbid, depressing, thoughts. So it's like, you can do that on your own, So I feel like the more you do that, the better it gets and the longer it lasts because you have so many people trying to say, well, no, it's this. No, I thought it was this. No, I thought it was that, and like, for you to come out and say it, it's like, oh, it was that. Oh, okay. Well, we already know now, so blah, blah, blah. Right. Like, so I think to leave certain things ambiguous, I think it increases the
conversation of like,
the conversation and kind of the lore, or the just like the attractiveness of the show, So
agreed. I definitely don't feel like Storm needs to season 2. Season 1 was it. Yes. Again, we're gonna give Dominique. Actually, we're gonna give all the actors and actresses in the show.
Besides Dominique, who do you think could be highlighted? A couple of people that could be highlighted from this.
First and foremost, Billie Eilish.
Yes,
she did
Billie
the damn
Eilish.
thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, Chloe. It's kind of minimal as her role was.
Yeah,
I wasn't kind of expecting her to be such a.
I thought it was interesting and kind of funny that she was in this show, considering the show is kind of about Beyonce. It's not about Beyonce, but like Beyonce is kind of like who they're kind of referencing, and then she like is kind of Beyonce's protege in a way. So I thought that was interesting.
I did when I saw her and them damn cut off jeans short.
Right? I thought she was born in the paradise. But
what about you? What would you say?
I would say honestly, I was kind of surprised by Paris Jackson. I've never seen her act in anything.
Okay.
But I thought it was interesting to see her on this show, and I feel like it worked because the show is already so irreverent and weird. And then for her to make those like self-referential jokes, like I'm like Halsey, like my dad is a quarter black. Like I thought it was like, okay, girl, so you're in on the joke. Yeah. Like you don't take yourself too seriously. So I thought that was cool.
Okay. Yes.
I think Damson Idris definitely did a good job. He's always good. So he did good. Scumbag boyfriend. I think I think the who actually did a really good job. The detective in the true crime episode. The detective is a social worker.
She did.
The social worker
was clearing the fuck out of
Yes. She was like, I was like, is this an actual social worker? Did y'all ask her about a child that, like, because she was definitely giving, like, no, we not about to do that with these kids.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Like, it was
not on my watch. That's what it was giving. Y'all forgot about the social worker.
Yeah, she was really good. She was really good. But, I don't think it needs a season 2. I think this is good. I think this could be a classic if it just stays a season 1. Like I enjoyed it. Any lasting thoughts before we peel out?
Just TGIF. Swarm was a really good show. Really good show. I don't know if I'm saying that, but definitely check it out on Amazon Prime. If you haven't. Shouts to all the people that are gonna watch this on the playback. Shouts to everybody that came through. Chop it up with us on this good rainy, cold ass Friday. But do you have any lasting thoughts?
No.
On our Jerry Springer shit.
No, not really. Well, when it comes to hope, no, I'm kidding. But I thought the show was good. I thought it was well written. It had a lot of things that piqued my interest, I guess you could say. The acting was really good. Yes. It was creepy and scary, which I enjoy. I love some spooky shit. So, I enjoyed that. It meant something. I feel like it also had relevant things to say about just like mental illness and just like, Black mental health, and just like, just different things. I thought that was really interesting.
Right. That's a good point because, like we say, even on our regular reviews, that is taboo
Yes.
Like the community, Black.
It's starting to become better. Mm-hmm. Like I was talking to my mom about it earlier. Like it's starting to become more and more accepted, which I like. But you know, there are still people that are like, right, mental health. You better get this money. like,
listen.
So yeah. But yeah, this has been Key and Carrie, where we key
and we carry.
I'm Damon.
I'm Trey.
And we will see y'all again in the next one.
Yes. Peace. Oh wait, you can't. There we go.
Oh yeah. Ooh, see y'all.